1-800-449-8686, The Phil Hendry Show, 1-800-449-8686. We are into part 2 of our weekly feature, Guns and the Home. And you know there have been safety checks, safety devices that have put on the Smith & Wesson guns, or at least been promised by the company since settlement of a lawsuit. We'll talk about them in just a minute. I just wanted to look through Entertainment Weekly to see what grades they're giving the films this week. For some reason, I have a very twisted and sick affinity for all the Fs. There's not an F score here. This is not this week's. This was February 4th. I guess it doesn't matter. They gave a B to Any Given Sunday. Boy, did that thing go. It just came and went. Any Given Sunday. Liked it. Didn't love it. They gave a A-. The Girl Interrupted. My wife was dry heaving out of that thing. She read the book and couldn't stand it. But then that's the same wife that didn't like Message in a Bottle. Real weird woman. Hurricane B+. Magnolia B+, My Dog Skip B-, Next Friday C+, Play It to the Bone C+, Stuart Little a B. You liked that movie, didn't you, Mike? Talented Mr. Ripley A-, Titus C+. Oh, that's the Anthony Hopkins like a Roman thing set in the modern day. Topsy Turvy an A, Toy Story 2 and A. So they don't really get into there's no real serious maligning this week, which is fine with me. But when you get back to sometimes they just have some very cool F grades that they give certain movies. I remember they ripped. I don't know which one, but they just ripped a couple of movies that I actually wanted to go see. One of them was Drop Dead Gorgeous, which looked kind of funny. I forget who was in it, but it looked like it was going to be kind of funny. It was a beauty pageant in Minnesota, and they gave it to Kirstie Alley and wasn't Kristen Dunst in it or something, and Denise Richards. So I don't know. I thought it was going to be funny, and I look at Entertainment Weekly. F sucks. Like no value, no redeeming social value, no humor, no dramatic import, nothing. So we went and saw it anyway, and they were right. Okay, 1-800-449-8686, part 2 of Guns in the Home. Now, if you saw the newspaper today, you probably know that Smith & Wesson settled its lawsuit with safety changes. The nation's biggest maker of handguns, Smith & Wesson, agreed Friday to dozens of once unthinkable safety and marketing restrictions aimed at keeping firearms out of the hands of children. The settlement will involve trigger locks on handguns, grips too big and triggers too powerful for young kids to fire, a hidden second serial number to deter thefts, smart technology to allow only authorized users to fire a gun, safety warnings on packaging, no gun show sales without background checks on buyers. All right, so there it is, and we do open the phones up to your comments as we have for the last couple of days. What do you think about all of this? How will it affect you as a gun owner or a potential gun owner? All right, here is Alhambra on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, how do you feel about this, sir?
Yes, I'm a gun owner. I own a Glock 357, and I also have a 45 caliber, the Glock 29 series. And I read in the paper today where Glock is considering these safety checks and these safety procedures.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the manufacturer's Glock?
Yes.
Now, they're not part of this lawsuit, are they?
No, sir. No, they are not. And I am annoyed. I've been a fairly loyal owner of Glock weapons for a few years. They have a light cast polymer, a double action, and they're very easy weapons to handle. But I think that these safety recommendations are really the wrong thing to do, because I think they're going to compromise the integrity of the weapon. And they don't keep in mind, Mr. Henry, that they do not take into consideration older people such as myself. I suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, and many of these safety features will impede my ability to use a weapon. And
how so, sir?
Because of the
larger grip and
also the difficulty in squeezing the trigger. And I ask myself, and I ask you, and I'm a United States Navy veteran, and I fought in the Korean War for this country, sir.
Yes, I'm right here.
Why do I get penalized because some idiot doesn't know how to take care of his weapon? If you make these guns idiot-proof, only idiots will own them. All right? You see?
If you make the guns idiot-proof, only idiots will own them. That sounds very good, but let me ask you something. How do you keep these weapons away from kids? How do you...
This is an area that I've been hearing this for a long time. I have a 5-year-old grandson, and I think there are a lot of gun owners who are going to tell you the same thing, that if you are smart with a weapon, if you have a child in the house, and I'm going to tell you something that maybe a lot of people won't admit. All right?
Yes, sir.
When a child is in the house and there is a loaded weapon somewhere in the home, there is a little bit of an adrenaline rush, and it keeps you on your toes. And it allows you to focus. And
all right, wait a second. Do you have a grandson?
I have a 5-year-old grandson.
And he comes over to visit?
He comes over to visit. And
when do you lock the weapons?
No, sir, I do not lock the weapons up. I have a loaded Glock 9mm that I keep in a holster under my desk. I have a loaded Glock 45 caliber that I keep loaded in one of the hall closets.
And you don't lock these weapons up or otherwise secure them when your 5-year-old grandson is there, but...
Hold on. I don't do it because there is an adrenaline factor.
What is the adrenaline factor?
Please let me finish.
Well, I want to know. You say there's an adrenaline rush, knowing that there's a kid in the house, and...
Please let me finish, sir.
Go ahead.
Any gun owner will tell you there's something about having a small child in the house and having a loaded weapon in the house that is a little bit of an adrenaline rush. And
you know where your gun is, though, right?
You do, but sometimes you don't. You might move it, sometimes I'll move it. And the reason why I do this is...
Yeah, tell me why it is that you have a loaded gun with your 5-year-old son in the house, and you're not sure where it is?
Sometimes you do. The adrenaline rush keeps you sharp, keeps your senses focused, and I have to tell you, you can get addicted to this. Now, there's a downside and an upside. And
are you addicted to the adrenaline rush that you get from...
You have to understand, are you a gun owner, Mr. Henry?
No, sir, I'm not.
All right, then you need to do a little less talking, a little more listening.
Yes, sir.
I feel that I can take better care of him because I'm on my toes. I don't know. Where's the gun? I don't know. I have a 5-year-old in the house. I have a loaded gun someplace. I can feel the adrenaline rushing through me, all right? And I'll tell you something right now. My grandson I love very, very dearly. And I would never want anything to happen.
Yes, sir, I understand that.
So
I'm not saying that you would.
So I'm telling you, for me, one of the few thrills that I have left in life is to have him come visit. And yes, a little bit of an adrenaline rush, have him in the home, and I know I have loaded guns. It's like one of those, if you've seen the new video games that the kids play.
But it sounds unsafe.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like a blast, a good, you feel good.
You feel good knowing that you have a loaded weapon somewhere in the house and a little boy is wandering through that house.
No, I don't feel, the boy is not going to get hurt. It's just a nice, juicy rush that cops get when they're on their way, when they're rolling to a crime scene.
I've never had a gun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't understand it.
Is that why so many loaded guns are kept around with kids around?
I don't know. I know I do it because it makes me focus. I can smell it. I can smell there's fear all over me because I don't want them to find the gun. And yet I do know where it is.
Well, if you know where it is, then why can't you just go into the closet and get it?
It's not just that. It's sometimes I'll take a trip to the store, and I'll leave him there.
You purposely leave the child in the house with a loaded gun?
Just,
to keep the senses focused?
Yes, sir. But that is something that only a gun owner would understand. My memory isn't the best anymore, and this helps it stay sharp. So I will think, where did I leave the loaded 45? Where? I said a prayer the other day. Dear God, help me remember where the 45 is. I know there's a 5-year-old child wandering through this house, and I will remember. And there's one other way that you could keep kids.
All right, hold on for a minute, okay?
I'm sorry?
Hold on for just a minute. I have to take a break. That guy's a Glock owner. This is part 2 of our Guns in the Home series. Our number is 1-800-449-8686. You own a gun, Craig? I don't have one. Now, this guy claims that it keeps his mind sharp and his adrenaline up if he leaves a loaded weapon somewhere in the house with his 5-year-old grandson walking through the house, because he says it's like a cop rolling to a crime scene. It keeps his juice going. I don't know anything about it. Our number is 1-800-449-8686. This is Guns in the Home Part 2. And then he leaves the house. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendry Show. Phil Hendry Show, 1-800-449-8686. And your name is Lloyd, right, Lloyd?
Yes, sir. Lloyd Bonafide, Phil. I live in Alhambra, California, and I have a heating and plumbing business that I retired from. But I have one son and a grandson. And
well, when your son was growing up, is this how you basically treated the weapons in your house?
Well, you need to understand that as a gun owner and as a father, it is far better for me to keep. See, I'm a Navy veteran.
Yes, sir.
And so, as a veteran, I have a certain. I live my life as if something bad is always going to happen. Let me put it that way.
Boy, that sounds like it doesn't sound like a good way to live. It sounds like it's a tough, tense way to live.
It's the only way to live, my brother. It's the only way to live if you want to get out of this thing with half of your rear end intact. And that's the God's truth. And the only way to keep your adrenaline up is to do what I call adrenaline testing, or to do these little things. I have my 5-year-old grandson. I love him very much. Yes, I have a loaded Glock 45 somewhere in the house. I'm not sure.
And he's walking through that house.
Yes, he is. And it scares the living hell out of me, but it helps me keep shut.
Well, sir, you sound like you're crying.
Because I love my grandson.
Then why don't you look? All right, I don't...
You don't understand.
All right, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, okay? I'm just... Some of the things you're saying don't make sense. I'm going to check in with other parents, if you don't mind, okay?
Well, yes, sir. I'm a Navy veteran.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to check in with some other people. Oceanside, you're on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. What is your name?
My name is Christina.
Christina, this is Lloyd.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Lloyd.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. I'm a 37-year-old mother of a 14-month-old little boy.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've never been compelled to call into a talk radio show in my life, but I feel so compassionate that what you're doing is completely wrong. That little boy gets a hold of that gun if you're there or if you're not there, and he blows. I don't even want to say it.
I mean,
he does something with it.
I'll say it for you, ma'am. Don't you understand, Mr. Bonafide, that if this child...
Ma'am, I would rather chew my own leg off than have anything happen to that child.
Lloyd,
I love that boy very much.
Lloyd, with all due respect, maybe you should chew your leg off for your adrenaline rush. Walk through the ghetto for your adrenaline rush. Do not put that boy's life on the line.
No, because I'm a 68-year-old Navy veteran of the Korean War. Veterans
I don't
live
care.
their life. Veterans live their life a certain way.
Find your kicks with another person with your own life.
Let me tell you, you're a young mother, right? You're a young mother?
Yes.
Let me tell you how you want to keep your children away from guns, and there's only one sure way of doing it. You get yourself a Glock 357, you take the magazine out of it, you make sure there is no cartridge or shell in the loading chamber, you put that barrel up to that child's head.
Oh, my God.
You listen to me. I'm a father and a grandfather. Now listen to me. You put the barrel of that unloaded gun to that child's head, and you pull the trigger so he hears the distinct clicking sound. And
so you're scaring the hell out of the kid.
You are making me sick.
You had better believe you scare. And when you do that, that child will never. And he'll lose his water, and he'll soil himself.
Oh. You are psychologically screwing that
And what-
kid up by doing that.
How do you know that? I'm a father and a grandfather.
I don't care. You're whacked, mister. You are.
Lady,
I'm sorry.
Lady,
I have never-
How many children have you got?
I have one little boy
And
that
you're
I
some
would
kind of an
never.
expert. You're an expert, huh?
You're not putting a loaded gun to the kid's head.
No, sir. Let me tell you, my boy turned out fine.
You have a son, and this is your grandson.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'll have to take your word on your boy turning out fine.
Well, I'll tell you what. You put the barrel of a weapon to a child's head, and I took my grandson and I squeezed his head up against the barrel of my .357, and I said to him, "You listen to this sound." And
Oh,
he
my
heard
God.
the distinct metallic click, and he knew that Grandpa wasn't screwing around. What do
So
you
you
think of
scared
them
that-
apples? What do you think of that?
What do I think of that?
Yeah.
Glad to hell that you're not my father. That's for damn sure.
And so you're going to go and soil yourself worrying about guns. Is that it?
No.
Well-
I'm going to do what I can to keep him away from my son. I'm not going to stick one up to his head.
And what are you going to do when he finds one at a neighbor's house or otherwise comes across a weapon that has not been secured by an adult? This is the last sound you hear before your head splats all over the pavement, is what I said to him. And then he heard the distinct metallic clang of the hammer. And that,
Jeez, you know something, pal? It sounds to me like you're really in love with guns.
I think
Yeah.
guns. Well, guess what, Mr. Henry? We fought a world war with them, and we kept the Nazis from taking over the world. So you better start loving guns too.
I understand the necessity for guns in self-defense, but to leave one around the house loaded
For a 5-year-old.
for a 5-year-old to,
I didn't say to find, did I?
but you're getting some
That's
adrenaline kick, isn't that right? You're getting a.
I'm getting a nice juice. It keeps me on edge. I live my life as if all hell is going to break loose at any moment. That's
Go
the only
swim in
way.
a shark tank, Lloyd. Get your
Lady-
adrenaline rush another
Lady,
way.
welcome to the world, lady.
Well,
It keeps you young.
I think we're in two different worlds, Lloyd.
All right, thanks for your call. Here is Albany on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello.
Hi, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to comment. Hello to both of you.
Yes, sir.
I'm a father of 3 kids, and I also have weapons in the house. And to me, what this gentleman is saying, I'm all for the right to keep and bear arms.
Amen.
But what this gentleman is saying, in my opinion, is exactly why people need gun locks on things.
You
This
put
is
a gun
crazy.
lock on something and you want to fumble around with that with some turkey coming through the window of your house? Not me,
But
my man, not me.
I'd rather have that turkey blow me away than have my kid blow himself away. And
Well, and would you rather have the turkey blow you away and then your kid away? Yeah,
Well-
you don't have an answer for that one. A lot of these guys don't have
Sure,
an answer
sure
for
I
that
do,
one.
but I'm willing to roll the dice that bets on my dog and my alarm system and things to
You
help
know,
me do that.
You sound like kind of a mild-mannered guy.
I like
Do you remember the movie Superman? What they said about Clark? What the hell was his name?
Hey, Lloyd.
Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Hey, Lloyd, can I
Clark
just
Kent.
finish though? Can I
No,
just finish though?
You sound like the mild-mannered Clark Kent.
Okay, let me just
All right, he
finish
may be
though.
mild-mannered, but he's making a point about his home and his guns and everything.
I just want to finish.
All right,
Lloyd.
okay, we got to get going, sir. Thanks for your call. 1-800-449-8686, Los Angeles on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello,
Hi.
Los Angeles. Yes.
Yes, my name is Letty Macias from LA, and I was calling because
Who's that? What is that?
I was calling because what I think
Who's that?
This is one of our callers.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh-huh.
yeah, what I think that this man is doing is basically leaving that gun out for the child to get a hold of, and I think that's very wrong.
Okay, Letty, would you hold the line because we got to go to a commercial break? All right. And your name's Letty.
Yes.
And your name is what? Lloyd.
My name is Lloyd Bonafide, Mr. Henry.
All right, hold on, please, both of you. Phil Hendry Show. 1-800-449-8686. One 1-800-449-8686 is the Phil Hendry Show. 1-800-449-8686. Part 2 of Guns at Home. A couple of callers on the phone. Lloyd is in Alhambra and Letty in Los Angeles. Go ahead, Letty.
Yes. I was saying that I'm a single mother of 5 children. Okay.
Am I on the air too, Mr. Henry?
Okay. Can
Yes.
you hear what I have to say?
Yeah, I want the gentleman to be quiet. We can hear you, sir, okay?
I just wanted to know if I was on the air too.
What you're doing is wrong
All right.
because you're making these children think that it's okay to use guns in the home. And really, this caller that was once on the phone before, this female caller,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
agree with her totally because it's really wrong. I mean,
Well,
I'm a
let me
single mother.
recap for you, for the listeners. Gentleman Lloyd, you keep a loaded gun in the house, even though you have your 5-year-old grandson around, because it keeps the adrenaline up.
It keeps me focused, and I'll give you an. Look, I went to the store and.
You said you leave the boy there with a loaded gun.
No, sir. I drive around the block as exercise. And I'll tell you something. I pray to Jesus that I don't get home and find a dead 5-year-old.
Well, you know what?
Then
Maybe
why
you should
would-
pray to Jesus that He can give you the faith that nothing will happen to you. You don't have to keep a loaded gun at home.
Well, ma'am, I don't have to keep a loaded gun. I live every day as if all hell is going to break loose.
Well, you know what? That's you and everybody else because I have a lot of tension and I have a lot of stress in my life too, and I don't carry a loaded gun with me or leave it at home with any of my children.
How many
because
guys are you?
Either one of them can get a hold of it.
Well, you're a Latin, correct?
Excuse me?
Are you a Latina?
It doesn't matter what I am.
Well, the reason why I ask, ma'am, is I would imagine that you have many weapons.
No, I'm sorry,
And,
but I
hold
don't.
on.
You know what
We're
my
not gonna
weapon
make-
is? My weapon is God.
We're not making that generalization, okay?
Oh, I
Thank
get
you.
it. This is politically correct the talk television,
But
huh?
see, it doesn't matter what
We're not
I
on
am.
television.
We're not
We're on
talking
radio.
about racism here or,
No,
or
ma'am.
anything
No,
like that.
ma'am. You're absolutely correct. But I'm
Okay.
simply saying that, you know something, the other day I went out and I couldn't find my house because I'm 68 and I do forget things. And I couldn't find my goddamn house.
And that's why you carry a loaded gun. It's wrong. It's wrong that you're teaching these children the same thing.
Are you all right, Lloyd?
You know?
I keep a loaded weapon in the closet hoping the child won't find it.
Hoping the child won't find it. Then why
And you
don't
couldn't
just
find
take
your
it
house
out?
with the child at home?
I was driving around. I knew there was a gun in the house, but I didn't know which one.
Which house?
Yes. That's part of the hell of being a Korean War veteran, and that's part of the hell of living every day as if hell, all hell, like, oh, man, Pork Chop Hill.
But you know what the thing is that, you know,
What's your name, dear?
My name is Letty.
You sound like a very nice lady.
I thank you very much, and I think that I am. Because,
I don't want anything
you know,
to happen to my grandson.
Sir, nothing will happen to your grandson if you take the loaded gun
Exactly.
out of the closet.
Exactly, because, you know.
So
everything-
now all of a sudden you want to laugh at me.
Sir,
You know what? Because it's the truth what he's saying. I agree
Yes,
with him totally.
exactly.
Because every day in the news we hear about kids getting a hold of the guns, and where is it they get them from? They get them from home.
I just
They
don't
get them
want...
from their parents. They get them from
I
where
don't
they
want
think
the
their
son of a
parents know.
bitch who's operating the show to laugh at me.
Well, sir, I don't like being called a son of a bitch, if you don't mind, and I'm not laughing at you.
I distinctly heard it, sir.
You know what? Children are
Why?
very smart. Sometimes they're even smarter than we are. Even though we think that they don't know things,
You
they
put
know
the barrel.
more.
You put the barrel of a Ruger up to a kid's head.
But see, why
and
would
a
you
lot
do a
of
thing
times
like
we'll
that?
clean the gun with a bullet in the chamber.
Why
because,
would you do a thing like that?
Because they tell you to clean a gun as if it's loaded. So I make sure it is loaded.
So you do that to the child?
No kid's smarter than me. No kid is smarter
Yes,
than me.
there's kids that are smarter than
Smarter
we are.
than
Nowadays,
me?
yes, there
You're
is.
telling me a 5-year-old smarter than me. Boy, if you weren't a woman,
No.
what I wouldn't give.
You know
Okay,
what?
look, I got to take a break. Thank you, ma'am, for your call.
You're welcome.
You know something? It sounds to me like you are wound a little tight.
Of course I'm wound tight. Look at the world today. A cesspool of crime and violence. I keep my gun... I tell you what, I keep my wife close, but I keep my gun closer. Hello?
Yes, I'm right here. Wes Covina on the Phil Henry Show. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hi.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hey, this is Richard from West Covina.
Yes, Richard. How are you? Good evening. Welcome to our show.
Good. Listen,
Yes.
I'm 69 years old.
How you doing, brother? I'm 68.
Why don't you shut up and listen, mister? I'm a
beg
Korean.
your pardon?
I'm a Korean veteran, 16 years in the Marine Corps.
Sir, I spent...
Why
Korea-
don't you just listen? I
You
didn't
know,
call. I
because
didn't
you're
call.
a fellow
I just,
serviceman, I'll listen to you, but I don't like
why
to
don't you
talk
just
to...
listen?
Just listen to the man,
Listen.
okay? This, I guess you wanted to say, Lloyd, you're a veteran too.
Yes, I am.
We know that.
Korean War.
Okay,
Listen.
we got it.
Why don't you listen? I'm a 16-year veteran of the Korean War and the Marine Corps. 2 Purple Hearts, and a Silver Star.
The Korean War only lasted 3 years, my friend.
You didn't listen. I said a 16-year veteran of the Marine Corps.
You said of the Korean War.
He said the Marine Corps.
I don't know what this fellow's name is.
My name is Lloyd Bonafide.
Okay, then why don't you just listen, Lloyd?
I'm listening, but I used.
Quit interrupting.
Never mind. Just let the man finish.
Everything you says about the guns, I have guns. I'm an avid gun man. I'm a shooter. I have 3 grown children, 4 grandchildren.
What rank were you in the
What difference does it make? What difference does it make? A Marine is a Marine.
I was a chief petty officer.
I don't care if you were a chief swabby. Why don't you just listen?
The Corps, Mr. Henry, they got a hard-on for the Navy.
I understand all about it. Let the man talk. Just let the man.
This man needs. Why don't you go to the Veterans Hospital? You need help, pal.
Oh, I got to go to the Veterans Hospital because I believe in the Constitution of keeping a gun around.
Well, then why don't you
let this man?
Why don't you believe in a little courtesy and give me an opportunity to talk?
Very good point.
Okay, why don't you extend a little courtesy?
I just feel I only have to listen if you outrank me.
Oh, come on, will you? Go ahead. I'm going to put him on hold. He's on hold. Go ahead, sir. He's on hold.
Everything this man has said, up until the point of owning guns, which is nice. It's a constitutional right.
Mm-hmm.
We all have that right.
Of course.
We all went to war. We used weapons for war, for protection of our country, of other people's country, of other people's rights.
Very true.
When we come home and I got out, I became a very good and strong owner of guns.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 children, grown, 4 grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of my children were taught how to handle.
All right, now I want to jump in.
Wait, hold it. Wait a second, hold on.
I want to jump in and say something right now.
Wait a minute. I thought you were on hold.
I fought my way out of hold. See, that's the kind of soldier. I could fight my way off of a hold button.
Now you're a soldier. You went from a sailor to a soldier.
Let me tell you something. Right?
What do you mean you fought your way out of hold? I had you on hold.
And I fought my way out.
Well.
Hey, Mike, are you screwing around with me? Put the guy on hold, will you, please?
Okay. Now,
go ahead.
Let me continue.
I fought my way out of hold.
Let me continue, please.
Yes.
All my children were taught gun safety. They were taught, and I have had and have loaded guns in my house. I know where everyone's at.
Right.
They are under my attention, my wife's attention, and my grown children's attention.
Right.
My grandchildren were taken out to the range.
There, I got out of hold again.
They were taught gun safety. They were taught intelligently. This man, when he says that he put a unloaded gun up to his child's head, 5 years old, and pulled the trigger, he lost me. The man is sick.
That's insanity, and that's the kind of...
Exactly
You're calling me insane? I just fought my way out of the hole again.
Why don't he tell how he taught his child gun safety instead of gun fear?
Gun safety?
Yeah, gun safety, mister, is gun handling.
We clean the weapon with a bullet in the chamber.
Well,
you call that gun safety?
Because you're supposed to.
Number one, I'm going to tell you this: I don't believe you were in this. I don't believe you were in any military service.
How dare you?
I don't believe that you were in any military service. I don't believe that you were in Korea, and I don't believe that you are a sane.
I was honorably discharged at San Diego, California.
Need help.
I was honorably discharged. I was honorably discharged at San Diego.
You need help. I don't care if you got the Congressional Medal of Honor. You need help.
I think putting a loaded...
I don't put a loaded gun.
I'll tell you...
My daddy put a gun to my head. I did it to my son, and he does it to his.
Well, then your whole family is bonkers.
Is nuts, okay?
Yeah, you got that right.
And what do you think about me fighting my way out of the hold button?
Well, I don't think much of you fighting anything.
Okay. Thank you very much. You made a very good point, sir.
Yeah, I fought my way off.
I want to talk to the talk show.
Yeah, I'm right here, sir.
I fought my way off the hold
button. I appreciate the
button.
fact that you've taken my call.
I appreciate your comments.
And I guarantee you that all gun owners in this country do not feel like this man does. All gun owners in this country do not teach their children gun safety.
Put me on hold one more time and see me fight my way off the hold button.
All people in this country don't put fear into their grandchildren.
I'm putting them on hold right now. Go ahead,
all gun owners in this country are sane people. They're people that get a hold of guns is because they have
I'm off a hold again.
To them because of people like this guy.
You're absolutely right. I agree.
And I thank you for the
Thank you very much, sir, for your call. What is with this guy fighting his way off a hold?
There, I did it again.
Hang up on the guy then. Fighting his way off a hold. When you take an empty gun and you put it to a kid's head and you click the hammer to scare
the crap out of him.
To scare the crap, not to to scare the crap out of him.
I'm getting faster fighting my way off a hold, aren't I?
To scare the crap out of him, you do need a doctor. That's one man's opinion. I'm Phil Hendry, 1-800-449-8686.